Okay, we're going to take out that there airbox with nothing but my 5/16 and an impact. Press in the clip, push out, done. It's hard to do one-handed. You have to kind of roll it out because of the air tube. Okay, so that's the top of the SRT box, top of the factory Scatpack box. And that's the air box for the Hellcat on the bottom with the hose. The factory air boxes come with these foam bits already on them. The aftermarket ones that you tend to see online do not have the foam, so you either have to do it yourself or find a seal kit. So the major difference between the Scatpack top and the Hellcat top, the Scatpack has this baffling inside, which one could argue does definitely impede airflow. The SRT is very smooth inside. I did see a post. Somebody mentioned that they were able to use the SRT top. I'm assuming they probably had to make a modification to include a fitting for the PCV. That's where it goes on the Scatpack. This has got provisions for the sensor in here, whereas the Scatpack doesn't. This is the Hellcat air filter, and its major difference, and the reason why it has a different part number, is simply because the Scatpack doesn't have this glue reinforcement. I also used the Scatpack air filter because it was slightly cleaner than my air filter that was already in the car. Both of these air filters are fairly junk. A K&N would be strongly recommended. On to the juicy bits. Apparently, Scatpack cars already have a provision for this tube in the airbox. But on the factory Scatpack box, for those of us that run flat hoods, my inner liner's missing. The hood's going to paint over winter at some point. We just have this baffling here. That ribbing makes it difficult to just cut a hole into the box and put it in, but you could definitely do it if you wanted to. And those are the differences between those air boxes. My car also had a plastic plug in the back of this light that had to come out. I did it on both sides. It's just 3 tabs in the back side. In here, you depress the tabs and it pops right out. Figure might as well show the assembly of the box in and of itself. So the key part here is the air tube. If you want to use the reinforced Hellcat air filter, by all means do so. I would probably get a K&N. I probably will this summer. Or some other kind of gauze filter. They really don't matter. This is very hard to do one-handed. There is an index tab right there that indexes that tube in the direction it needs to be. Plug in your air filter. And then it fights you forever. Because you're trying to do it one-handed. This airbox picks up air in 2 different spots. In the factory lower spot, just like the Hellcat or the Scatpack does, which I believe picks up air from behind the splash shield on the driver's side fender there, and also from the tube, whereas the Scatpack only picks up air from that dead area behind the splash shield. I think there is some ducting in there in the fascia to get air in there. There's also ducting in the fascia to direct air to the brakes in Scatpacks, because I had that inner wheel well out, and I thought that was pretty interesting. Now we get to put the crummy Scatpack top back on there. It's really not that crummy. It's just reinforced for whatever reason. I'm not really sure what the reasoning behind the enforcement is on these, other than acting as a baffle. There's 3 tabs at the bottom here. Sorry for the crappy light. It is winter here in Buffalo. It is cold, and that's why we are in nap mode. Snowblowers in charge. There's just 3 screws here, there, and there that hold the top on. They basically look like deck screws. They're kind of wild. And all the hardware for this is 5/16. So you can do everything with just a simple 1/4 inch impact, which I really honestly believe is done to help dealer techs. Okay, so I'm going to pick back up where I struggled before. I couldn't get this thing rotated in, but it needs to basically rotate into this spot when it has that tube on there. And you just make sure it butts up to the light. It just fits tight. There's nothing that really clips it there. And then send the tube on the throttle body. Make sure this bad boy is clipped down. You feel it, it slips into the notch in there because it meets up with that opening for the air. That bolt goes right back in there. Tube. Okay. Don't forget your sensor and your hose clamp. Voila.